and the absolute verdict. So hit it.
Where's David?
David is, his tape speaks for itself.
Hey, Dave, listen up, please.
Murphy, it's you.
Oh, it's intercepted. Murphy, touchdown, Arizona.
I don't even want to be Murphy anymore. Do I still have to be Murphy?
Yes, you have to be Murphy.
There were 2 fouls by the defense. Offense, correct, I'm sorry.
He's a lawyer.
Offside defense, that penalty is declined. There's also personal foul face mask. That penalty is enforced half the distance to the goal, first down.
After reviewing the play, the offensive player has the ball and is not out of bounds. Phoenix will retain possession on the sideline and has the advanced capability. The coach's challenge is successful.
Your Honor, I object.
You would.
Bastard!
Hey, quiet! Overruled.
Your Honor, I object. What does this have to do with anything?
Overruled.
And the truth shall set you free.
I'm really excited. I love that open. That is the new open for the absolute verdict. And to get you guys caught up, the absolute verdict is my biggest opinion of the day. And I wanted to do, I've always wanted to do a segment like this, and I'm excited to do it. So that is the open for the absolute verdict. And so every time you hear that, you'll know, hey, this is my biggest opinion of the day. It might not be sports related. Most of the time it will. It might not be local for the podcast, if you will, as it pertains to Suns, Cardinals, ASU football or basketball or Diamondbacks. But for this one, it is. And so the absolute verdict is, for me, is the ineptitude of the Arizona Cardinals and the plan B, I guess you want to say, option to sign Mike LaFleur as their new head coach. Now, I have no problem with the signing itself. I want to kind of get that out there, and you'll hear later. That a little bit more about Mike LaFleur and the fact that, I'm actually fine with it. But what I'm not fine with is the fact that you have the same day scramble. You had heard Jim Carrey from Liar Liar, say the truth shall set you free. But for the Arizona Cardinals, the truth is looking pretty ugly right now and today. Mike LaFleur is planning to join the staff, but we have to talk about the same day optics. Clint Kubiak chose the Las Vegas Raiders the other day, and I feel like he looked at the division rival he knows inside out and said, no thanks. And within a matter of minutes, you have the Cardinals announcing Mike LaFleur. And to me, this isn't a deliberate search, but it's a fire drill, if you will, in the front office. It's a scramble to avoid being the last team without a head coach, and unfortunately they were the last team. And so, I've stood on something for years. And so let's look at something that Theo Mackie, Arizona Republic reporter for the Cardinals, and what he had to say. But before we get into it, like I said, I've been standing on the table for this organization for a while now, and now they are the laughing stock because they refuse to hire a president of football operations. People will say, David, it's just a title, or it's just more bureaucracy. And I say, is it? I mean, let's look at the receipts. Like I said, from Theo Mackie from the Arizona Republic. There are 7 family-owned teams in the league that do not have a president from outside the family. Those teams have made the playoffs only 28% of the time. But let's look at the other side. The family-owned teams that do have an outside president, well, their playoff success rate jumps to 48.5%. This is almost double the success rate just by having a professional buffer between ownership and the football field. And that's just your general president, the president that would handle, some financial responsibilities and other different things and whatnot. Just to have that buffer. We're not even talking about a specialized president of football operations yet. But the data is clear. The Cardinals are intentionally choosing a path that leads to failure 72% of the time. People say we couldn't get Sean Payton because the price was too high. Denver gave up a first and a second round pick. For the Cardinals, that trade would have been Darius Robinson and Max Melton. And I'll be honest, I like those guys. They have some promise. But I'm going to ask you: would you trade a defensive tackle and a defensive back for a Hall of Fame coach who changes the culture of the building for the next decade? For me, I would do that 10 times out of 10. A roster with talent, but no leadership is just a waste of a rookie contract. Until this organization values a culture setter as much as a draft pick, we are destined to settle for Plan B. And so the verdict is in. Mike LaFleur comes from 2 of the greatest coaching trees in the league, the McVay tree and the Shanahan tree. But even the best seeds won't grow in sour soil. So until Michael Bidwill hires a president of football operations and gets out of the way, the Arizona Cardinals will remain the punchline of the NFL. So, case closed, and that is the absolute verdict and my biggest opinion of the day.